Why do we give gifts? Is it a gesture of goodwill, an expression of love, or a way to strengthen bonds? The answer lies in thousands of years of human history, where the act of giving has been deeply intertwined with culture, religion, and even survival. From ancient rituals involving symbolic offerings to the elaborate traditions of modern holidays, gift-giving tells a fascinating story of connection and meaning. Welcome to Armchair Archaeology, where we explore the hidden histories behind everyday traditions. Today, we're unwrapping the incredible history of gift-giving, from prehistoric exchanges to the commercialized holidays we know today. Along the way, we'll uncover how this timeless tradition has evolved, influenced global cultures, and even shaped some of our favorite holiday characters. Stay with us until the end, where we'll reveal how a medieval custom of exchanging simple tokens led to one of the most popular gift trends of the modern era. You won't want to miss it. Before we start, have you subscribed to Armchair Archaeology? Over 90% of our viewers haven't yet, and by subscribing, you'll join a passionate community uncovering the hidden stories of history's greatest mysteries. And while you're here, don't miss out on our exclusive ebook, Secrets of the Ancient World: Mysteries, Technologies, and Lost Civilizations. This isn't a freebie, it's an in-depth guide packed with captivating tales of lost cities, ancient technologies, and unsolved mysteries. If you're ready to explore the secrets that history books leave out, check out the link in the pinned comment below. The act of giving gifts is one of humanity's oldest traditions, predating written language and organized society. Archaeologists have found evidence of symbolic exchanges among early humans, dating back over 100,000 years. These first gifts were far from the brightly wrapped boxes we know today. They were objects like shells, animal teeth, or carved stones. These items were often exchanged not for survival, but as gestures of goodwill and connection, helping to build alliances and foster trust. One remarkable discovery comes from southern Africa, where beads made from ostrich eggshells were found in archaeological sites far from their source. These painstakingly crafted items, traded across regions, reveal an early form of social bonding that extended beyond individual communities. In societies without language, the act of giving became a universal way to communicate respect and establish relationships, showcasing the deep-rooted human desire to connect through generosity. As people transitioned from nomadic lifestyles to settled communities during the Neolithic period, gift-giving evolved into a communal activity. Items like polished stone tools or intricately crafted pottery were exchanged during feasts or ceremonies, often symbolizing prosperity or goodwill. This practice emphasized not just the exchange of goods, but the strengthening of social ties within growing agricultural societies. Even burial sites offer insights into the early significance of gifts. Archaeologists have uncovered grave goods, items like tools, ornaments, or food placed alongside the deceased. These offerings weren't just meant to honor the dead, but also to maintain social and spiritual bonds within the community. The origins of gift-giving show that the act has always been about more than objects. It's a gesture of connection, a token of emotion, and a tradition that has carried humanity through millennia. In ancient Egypt, gift-giving reached dazzling heights, especially among the elite. For pharaohs, gifts weren't just symbols of generosity, they were tools of diplomacy and spiritual devotion. Exchanging elaborate treasures with foreign rulers was common practice, strengthening alliances and demonstrating Egypt's immense wealth. The Amarna letters, a collection of diplomatic correspondence from the 14th century BCE, reveal fascinating details about these exchanges. Gifts, such as gold-plated statues, intricately crafted jewelry, and exotic animals, were sent to neighboring kingdoms, reflecting the importance of generosity in securing peace and power. Gift-giving wasn't confined to politics. It also played a vital role in religion. Temples overflowed with offerings presented to the gods, ranging from simple clay figurines to exquisite treasures of gold and precious stones. These gifts were not acts of charity, but gestures of devotion, meant to ensure divine favor for both individuals and the state. Everyday Egyptians participated too, offering items like flowers or small handmade goods during religious festivals. One of the most extraordinary examples of Egyptian gift-giving comes from the tomb of Tutankhamun. The treasures buried with the young pharaoh included golden chariots, furniture inlaid with ivory and jewels, and delicately crafted amulets. These items weren't mere luxuries. They were designed to accompany and protect the pharaoh in the afterlife, demonstrating how the tradition of giving extended beyond life itself. The Egyptians elevated gift-giving into an art form, blending diplomacy, devotion, and personal expression. Their elaborate exchanges remind us that gifts, whether political or personal, have always been powerful symbols of connection and respect. The treasures buried with pharaohs like Tutankhamun weren't just signs of wealth. They carried deep cultural and spiritual meanings. If you're intrigued by ancient artifacts and the secrets they hold, you'll love our ebook, Secrets of the Ancient World: Mysteries, Technologies, and Lost Civilizations. It's filled with fascinating insights into how ancient societies lived, worshipped, and ruled. One of the most enduring stories of gift-giving comes from the Christian nativity tale. According to the Gospel of Matthew, 3 wise men, known as the Magi, journeyed from the east to present gifts to the infant Jesus. These gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, were far more than tokens of wealth or status. Each carried profound, symbolic meaning. Gold represented Jesus' role as king. Frankincense signified his divinity, and myrrh, a resin used in embalming, foreshadowed his mortality and sacrifice. Together, they encapsulated his earthly and spiritual missions. These gifts were extraordinary for their time, not only for their symbolism, but also for their value. Gold has long been associated with power and prosperity, but frankincense and myrrh were rare and highly sought-after commodities. Harvested from trees in the Arabian Peninsula and East Africa, they were labor-intensive to produce, making them more valuable than gold by weight. Frankincense was often burned in temples as a sacred offering, while myrrh was used in perfumes, medicines, and embalming rituals. By presenting these gifts, the Magi demonstrated not only reverence, but also recognition of the profound significance of the child they were honoring. The story of the Magi and their gifts left a lasting legacy in Christian culture. By the Middle Ages, Epiphany, the day commemorating the Magi's visit, became a major holiday in many European countries, marked by the exchange of gifts. Over time, this tradition merged with Christmas celebrations, contributing to the festive customs we know today. This tale illustrates the timeless power of thoughtful, symbolic gifts. It reminds us that the meaning behind a gift often resonates more deeply than its material value, a sentiment that continues to inspire gift-giving traditions across the world. Fascinated by stories of ancient treasures and their meanings? Don't miss more tales like this. Hit subscribe and stay tuned. In ancient Rome, Saturnalia was one of the most joyous and chaotic festivals of the year, celebrated every December in honor of Saturn, the god of agriculture and time. What made Saturnalia stand out was its focus on social inversion and community spirit. Slaves were temporarily freed from their duties, and masters served their servants. Class hierarchies were suspended in a carnival-like atmosphere of feasting, drinking, and merrymaking. At the heart of these festivities was the exchange of gifts, a tradition that laid the groundwork for modern holiday customs. Unlike today's often extravagant presents, Saturnalia gifts were modest yet meaningful. Common items included wax candles, a symbol of light during the darkest days of winter, and small clay figurines called sigillaria, often depicting gods or humorous characters. These gifts were intended to spread cheer and foster goodwill, not to demonstrate wealth. Sometimes they even carried a touch of humor. Romans enjoyed giving playful or ironic gifts that reflected their wit and the light-hearted nature of the festival. The spirit of Saturnalia lingered long after the fall of the Roman Empire. When Christianity spread throughout Europe, many of its traditions were incorporated into Christmas celebrations. The emphasis on generosity, joy, and community during the holiday season owes much to the influence of this ancient Roman festival. Saturnalia reminds us that holiday gift-giving isn't just about the presents, it's about creating moments of connection and joy. From candles that brightened a Roman home to the gifts we exchange today, the tradition has always been a way to bring light into the darkest time of the year. In medieval Europe, gift-giving was both a social duty and a festive tradition, shaped by the rigid structures of feudal society. Lords and vassals exchanged gifts, not just to celebrate occasions, but to reaffirm loyalty and obligations. These exchanges often carried significant symbolic weight. A vassal might present a finely crafted weapon, livestock, or agricultural produce to their lord, while a lord might reward loyalty with land grants or precious items. Such gifts were less about personal generosity and more about maintaining the hierarchy and balance of power within the feudal system. Outside the castles and manors, ordinary people also embraced gift-giving, particularly during the festive season. By the late medieval period, the tradition of giving New Year's gifts became widespread, especially among the nobility. These presents were often tokens of wealth and status, such as spices, embroidered gloves, or finely made jewelry. In contrast, villagers and townsfolk exchanged simpler items like baked goods, small handicrafts, or seasonal foods, strengthening communal bonds during the darkest days of winter. One particularly enduring custom from this period is the Christmas box. Wealthy households would give servants and tradespeople small boxes of coins, food, or goods during the holiday season as a gesture of gratitude. This practice evolved into what we now know as Boxing Day, still celebrated in several countries today. The influence of religion also shaped medieval gift-giving. Churches received offerings ranging from food and livestock to ornate altars adorned with gold and jewels. These gifts reflected piety and the hope of gaining divine favor, showing that giving extended beyond the material world. Whether reaffirming social obligations or celebrating festive traditions, medieval gift-giving laid the foundation for many customs we still recognize. It was a time when gifts were as much about duty and devotion as they were about celebration. Medieval gift-giving wasn't just about celebrations, it was a reflection of loyalty, status, and faith. From feudal obligations to religious offerings, these traditions reveal so much about life in the Middle Ages. Want to dive deeper into the mysteries of history? Our ebook, Secrets of the Ancient World, explores the hidden stories behind similar ancient customs. Gift-giving is a universal tradition, but how it's practiced varies greatly across cultures, offering fascinating insights into values, beliefs, and relationships. From Asia to Africa to Europe, the ways people give gifts reflect their unique approaches to connection and community. In Japan, giving is as much about presentation as the gift itself. The art of omiyage, souvenir gifts, and temiyage, thank you gifts, reflects an emphasis on respect and thoughtfulness. Gifts are meticulously wrapped, often in beautiful paper or cloth, and there are strict rules of etiquette. For example, gifts are handed over with both hands to show sincerity, and odd-numbered gifts are preferred, as even numbers are associated with bad luck. The act of giving in Japan is less about the item's value and more about expressing gratitude and maintaining harmony. In many African cultures, the philosophy of Ubuntu, I am because we are, underpins gift-giving practices. Gifts often emphasize community and reciprocity rather than individual gain. During important life events, such as weddings or births, items like livestock, handcrafted goods, or communal meals are offered, symbolizing shared prosperity and connection. These exchanges are not only acts of generosity, but also reminders of the interdependence within the community. Meanwhile, Hindu traditions in India celebrate festivals like Diwali with an abundance of gift-giving. Families exchange sweets, gold, and clothing as symbols of love, prosperity, and good fortune. Gifts are often accompanied by rituals and blessings, intertwining spiritual and personal meanings. In Scandinavia, pre-Christian Yule traditions included the Yule goat, Julbok, which played a surprising role in early gift-giving. It was believed to deliver presents to families long before Santa Claus became part of the holiday landscape. Despite these cultural differences, a common theme emerges. Gifts are expressions of connection, gratitude, and celebration, proving that the spirit of giving transcends borders and traditions. Which of these cultural traditions surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. The Victorian era transformed Christmas into the gift-giving holiday we know today, blending old traditions with new ideas of family and celebration. Before the 19th century, Christmas was a more modest affair, focused on feasting and community rather than presents. However, industrialization, literature, and royal influence converged to turn the holiday into a time of generosity, sentimental giving, and festive joy. Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, published in 1843, played a pivotal role in reshaping Christmas. Its powerful themes of charity, family, and redemption captured the public imagination and encouraged people to embrace the spirit of giving during the season. Around the same time, Queen Victoria and Prince Albert popularized many holiday customs, including decorating Christmas trees and exchanging gifts with family members. Their highly publicized celebrations inspired households across Britain to adopt similar practices. The era also saw the rise of commercialized Christmas traditions. Department stores became holiday destinations filled with pre-made gifts, festive decorations, and elaborate advertisements encouraging seasonal shopping. Gift-giving became a major part of Christmas, fueled by innovations like wrapping paper, which added an element of surprise and delight to presents. For the Victorians, gifts were often practical yet thoughtful, especially for children. Handmade dolls, books, puzzles, and toys became common, reflecting an emerging focus on childhood as a time to be cherished. Adults exchanged keepsakes like engraved jewelry or hand-embroidered items, emphasizing the sentimental value of their gifts. Victorian England's blend of nostalgia, charity, and commerce redefined Christmas. It was a time when gift-giving became a way to express love, nurture relationships, and spread joy, values that continue to shape how we celebrate the season today. The modern image of Santa Claus, jolly, red-suited, and bearded, didn't come from folklore alone. It's the result of centuries of evolution, blending myth, art, and marketing to create the beloved figure we recognize today. While Santa Claus has roots in St. Nicholas, a 4th-century bishop known for secret gift-giving, his transformation into a global icon began in 19th-century America. In 1823, Clement Clarke Moore's poem, A Visit from St. Nicholas, famously beginning with "'Twas the night before Christmas," introduced a plump, merry Santa who traveled by sleigh, delivering toys to children. This cheerful figure resonated with readers, laying the foundation for Santa's modern persona. By the late 19th century, illustrator Thomas Nast had solidified Santa's appearance in his drawings for Harper's Weekly. Nast depicted Santa with a red suit, fur trim, and a sack of toys, giving him the familiar features we associate with Christmas. However, it wasn't until Coca-Cola's advertising campaigns of the 1930s that Santa Claus truly became a global icon. Artist Haddon Sundblom created a warm, approachable Santa for the company, featuring him in advertisements that portrayed him enjoying a Coke while spreading holiday cheer. Sundblom's illustrations, published in magazines, posters, and store displays, popularized the image of Santa as we know him today. These campaigns didn't just sell soda, they sold the magic of Christmas, connecting Santa with joy, generosity, and nostalgia. Santa Claus's evolution reflects the enduring power of storytelling and the ability of culture and commerce to shape traditions. Whether you imagine him sliding down a chimney or sipping a Coke, Santa remains a symbol of holiday cheer and the timeless spirit of giving. Santa Claus, as we know him, is a blend of myth, tradition, and clever storytelling. His evolution mirrors how modern culture transforms ancient practices into enduring legends. For more on how myths, symbols, and technologies have shaped civilizations, check out Secrets of the Ancient World. It's a treasure trove of untold stories and fascinating discoveries. Gift-giving has become a cornerstone of the global economy, particularly during the holiday season. In many countries, November and December are defined by a surge of consumer activity, with events like Black Friday and Cyber Monday kicking off a shopping frenzy. In the United States alone, holiday spending consistently exceeds $1 trillion annually, with the average person spending over $1,000 on gifts, decorations, and celebrations. The rise of e-commerce has dramatically reshaped how we give and receive gifts. Online shopping platforms offer unparalleled convenience, allowing people to send presents across the globe with a click. Personalized items, gift registries, and subscription services have added a modern twist, enabling consumers to tailor their gifts to the recipient's tastes and interests. Meanwhile, gift cards have emerged as one of the most popular choices, blending practicality with the flexibility to let recipients choose their perfect gift. This economic boom supports industries far beyond retail. Seasonal hiring in logistics, packaging, and delivery skyrockets, while artisans and small businesses benefit from a heightened focus on unique, handmade items. Yet, this commercialization hasn't come without critique. Some argue that the emphasis on spending detracts from the personal and emotional aspects of gift-giving. Interestingly, recent trends suggest a shift toward more meaningful and sustainable gifting. Handmade, eco-friendly, and experience-based presents are gaining popularity, reflecting a growing desire to make thoughtful choices that go beyond materialism. This evolution demonstrates how the economics of gift-giving adapts to changing societal values. While it's easy to focus on the dollar amounts, the real value of gift-giving lies in its role as a global tradition, one that supports connections, celebrates generosity, and drives creativity in every era. Curious about how ancient traditions still influence modern practices? Join us by subscribing and uncover more connections like these. The act of giving gifts is far more than a simple exchange of items. It's deeply rooted in human psychology. Research suggests that gift-giving plays a vital role in expressing emotions, strengthening relationships, and building social bonds. Whether it's a token of appreciation, a celebration of love, or an apology, Gifts act as tangible expressions of our feelings, often communicating what words cannot. Psychologists have found that giving gifts activates the brain's reward centers. When we give, our brains release dopamine, the feel-good hormone associated with pleasure and happiness. This neurological response explains why people often experience as much, if not more, joy in giving as they do in receiving. It's a phenomenon that underscores how gift-giving is as much about the giver as it is about the recipient. The thoughtfulness behind a gift is what truly resonates. Studies show that recipients value gifts tailored to their preferences far more than expensive but impersonal items. For instance, a handwritten letter or a personalized keepsake can have a deeper impact than the priciest gadget. This emphasis on thoughtfulness reflects our innate desire to create meaningful connections through our choices. Gift-giving also helps maintain and strengthen relationships. Sociologists describe it as a form of social glue, creating cycles of giving and receiving that reinforce bonds between individuals, families, and communities. This is especially evident during holidays, birthdays, or life milestones, where the act of exchanging gifts helps mark the importance of shared experiences. While commercialization often overshadows these deeper aspects, the psychology of gift-giving reveals its enduring importance. At its heart, giving isn't about the object itself, it's about the thought, emotion, and connection behind it, making the tradition as timeless as it is universal. Gift-giving is a tradition as old as humanity itself, evolving from prehistoric exchanges of shells and tools to the extravagant offerings of pharaohs, the symbolic gifts of the Magi, and the playful customs of Saturnalia. Across centuries and cultures, the act of giving has been a way to connect, celebrate, and express meaning far beyond the material value of the gift itself. And as promised, here's the fascinating connection. The medieval custom of exchanging New Year's tokens among aristocrats laid the groundwork for today's wildly popular gift cards. What began as simple tokens of loyalty and gratitude eventually evolved into a modern-day solution for thoughtful and flexible giving. It's a perfect example of how traditions adapt while keeping their essence intact. From ancient rituals to today's holiday rush, gift-giving is more than just a transaction. It's a reflection of who we are and how we value our relationships. Whether it's a handmade item, a store-bought present, or even a gift card, every act of giving carries the timeless message of care and connection. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the rich history of gift-giving. If you enjoyed this exploration, please support Armchair Archaeology by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Now it's your turn. What's the most meaningful gift you've ever given or received? Share your story in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep celebrating the traditions that bring us together.